This clearly isn't about what Ilhan Omar said as much as who she is. Being a smart, outspoken black woman of a Muslim faith is apparently the issue.
Ilhan Omar just lost her seat at the Foreign Affairs Committee, and Congress is split over why.
I don't know why the president felt the need to tweet on this subject at all. You know, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Presley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools. They hate America. They think America was wicked in its origins, and it's even more wicked today. They ought to be thanking America instead of calling America evil and wicked and racist. But this is America, and they have the right to their opinion. But I don't like to see the president even dignify their point of view. Besides that, I think that the Squad, as they call themselves, they are destroying the Democratic Party. You know, when your opponent is screwing up, don't interrupt him. Let him go. I mean, just looking at this from a political standpoint, if I didn't know better, I would think the members of the Squad were GOP plants. I mean, they think that illegal immigration, socialism, higher taxes are all moral goods.
I think we all understand what it looks like to absolutely want the best for the United States of America. But when we are encountering individuals coming from like either side here, I'll say this here, they're starting to basically be in promotion of things that are to the country's detriment. Don't be surprised when people start saying you guys are very un-American. But if you say you're completely down for the concept of illegal immigration, you know, less border restrictions, etc., how do you care about the United States of America? What is a country without a border? It's nothing.
View the tax filings of U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar on several grounds. I am joined by 9 Minnesota state representatives in making these requests, and I think there's 6 here today. These representatives include Glenn Gruenhagen of Glencoe, Eric Lucero of Dayton, Shane Mecklin of Clear Lake, Tim Miller of Princeburg, Linda Runbeck of Circle Pines, Cal Barr of East Bethel, John Poston of Lakeshore, Dwayne Quam of Byron, and Jeremy Munson of Lake Crystal. We are making this request on 3 direct grounds. First, Representative Omar improperly and deliberately filed for a tax status for which she was not qualified, an illegal action in both federal and state law. The Minnesota Campaign Finance Board found on June 6th of this year that she illegally used campaign funds to pay a law firm to review her tax records. The Campaign Finance Board exposed crystal clear probable cause for a tax fraud or tax evasion investigation when they discovered that Representative Omar filed as married and filing jointly with Mr. Ahmad Hersey in 2014 and 2015. During those years, she was legally married to Mr. Ahmad Elmi. Did the illegal filing produce a lower tax liability for the couple? Did her illegal tax filing bring her tax exemption for which she was not legally qualified? Usually people choose the tax filing status that yields them the lowest tax liability. Also, the board shared that the couple filed jointly during 2 specific years. Ilhan Omar and Ahmad Hersey have been together as a couple for 17 years. Given her record of crimes and violations of so many laws, it may be worth evaluating her claims of status in those other years as well. Second, Representative Omar lived together simultaneously with her first and second husbands at the same addresses in Minnesota and North Dakota in 2009 through 2011.
At the same time,
the tax enforcers may need to check if she used an illegal tax filing status and obtained tax deductions including standard deduction levels for which she was not qualified in those years. Third, we know that Representative Omar took improper kickbacks from 3 Minnesota colleges in 2017 when she oversaw their state budgets in 2017. Under campaign pressure, she returned those kickbacks in 2018. It is worth checking to see if she reported the kickbacks as income in 2017 or deducted the paybacks as expenses in 2018. 5 grounds for an investigation include corruption in public office and tax evasions on grounds of illegal filing status, improper deductions, concealed income from kickbacks, and improper claims for expenses. We are also aware of Representative Omar's pattern of improper conduct. She has been fined by the Campaign Finance Board for diverting campaign funds for an unpermitted political trip to Orlando. She has been directed to pay back her expenses for uncovered political trips to Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, Florida, and Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's fair.
She has been punished for conversion of campaign funds to pay for personal legal and accounting services. She has flouted laws regarding the filing of her personal financial data in a way that distorted the political campaign process. On June 25th, I asked my Congresswoman Angie Craig to launch an investigation into these improprieties. That went nowhere. She said, do it yourself. So on July 23rd, I asked the U.S. House Ethics Committee to investigate Representative Omar. That request is currently being reviewed by the Office of Congressional Ethics. On that same day, I launched OmarTruth.com in an effort to rally Minnesotans and Americans to help bring political pressure to bring about a congressional investigation. After 2 weeks, we have over 44,000 citizens expressing their strong desire to bring about a full investigation, and the list is growing. I will be adding today's request to the facts available on OmarTruth.com. Today, I and 9 other representatives are asking the nonpartisan federal and state tax enforcers to open investigations.
Nonpartisan.
We are simply asking them to do their jobs. You guys have anything? Questions, anyone?
Do state lawmakers have sway to influence the IRS or Minnesota Department of Revenue? Have you successfully asked for such things in the past? Is there a precedent?
I think certainly there's precedent, and I think it's incumbent upon us, Mary, lawmakers, the media, and others, when they see very clear, blatant violations of our laws, to find every way we can to appeal to the people who can investigate and prosecute those laws. And that's what we're doing here today.
Like, if you follow history, specifically around some of the cases where some of the largest, biggest bad guys, I'm not calling Ilhan Omar the biggest bad guy, I'm just correlating something here. The easiest way to generally take someone down, if you cannot find anything else that's like able to stick on them, is going to be taxes. All right. Just understand this here. So the first thing you should do, specifically if you are someone engaging in something and like, you know, there are people who absolutely hate you and they're in the government, let's say, is never mess with your taxes. Never mess around on your taxes. Understand this here. If we do find out that Ilhan Omar, in fact, is a tax cheat, then she definitely needs to be held accountable for that, because, again, isn't her party completely fine with the idea of raising taxes on everyone? But yet she is looking to now utilize systems that allow you to lower your tax rate? Oh, no, Ilhan Omar, you can't do that. You need to represent for your side. Like, if you're going to promote these things, you should be the first one on the chopping block here, right? Like, AOC should basically give away 90% of her salary. Live your best life, AOC. This is why none of them actually are fine with it. They're just talking about it because it makes them feel good in their super left-wing echo chambers.
I had a member of the Republican caucus threaten my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened. Thank you.
Republicans are waging a blatantly Islamophobic and racist attack on Congresswoman Omar. And I've said it before, I will say it again. The white supremacy happening is unbelievable. This is despicable. This is just a bunch of racist gaslighting.
Could it be the way that she looks?
Time is expired.
Could it be her religious practices?
This clearly isn't about what Ilhan Omar said as much as who she is. Being a smart, outspoken black woman of a Muslim faith is apparently the issue.
The GOP is now doing what it is best at, weaponizing hate against a black, beautiful Muslim woman. They turn Congress into a place of fear-mongering hate. It is so painful to watch who you all are, really.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Omar will not be silenced.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
To Congresswoman Omar, I am so sorry,
has expired.
That our country is failing you today through this chamber. You belong.
The gentlewoman is no longer.
Well, I am Muslim. I am an immigrant, and interestingly, from Africa.
Omar is not just a congresswoman. She tells us she is a global citizen, and people around the world celebrate her accomplishments. We don't know what those accomplishments are, but if you listen closely, the world is clapping.
Pay close attention when people speak, right? Like if they're not actually attempting to even come with anything with any type of coherence, but yet they're immediately jumping onto the bandwagon of basically signaling for the idea of virtue, then they really have nothing to say. Okay, like, let's just be completely honest here, because it seemed like every single thing that they said had nothing to do with all of the achievements that she's made here, nothing to do with all of the changes that she's made that were to the benefit to the people. Let's just say this here, or the fact that she's now donating 100% of her salary. I don't know how that works, guys. Right? Either way, just pay attention to these things, because all they're leaning on specifically is the color of her skin, where she's from, and her religion. I don't care about any of these things. What is she actually doing that is meaningful specifically to me as a voter? That's the most important thing. Guys, I am definitely in the camp of saying this here. I don't care who you vote for at all. I mean this here. People are always shocked. What do you mean? You have a platform. You need to be telling people what to... No, at all. Please, vote however you want to vote. Please. And there are people that voted for Kamala Harris that should have voted for Trump. All right? There are people who voted for Trump that should have voted for Kamala Harris, right? Because again, you never loan your vote out to anyone else's cause, specifically outside of your household, because again, you are an adult, a tax-paying adult. You need to do things that absolutely have the ability to benefit your specific household and no one else's. Again, vote for whoever has the ability to deliver the policies specifically that will help you out. Okay, that's it here. Stop giving your vote for causes that have nothing to do with your household. Number one, if you do that, then we can kind of get away from the idea of just chasing specifically an echo chamber, and people would most likely end up moving back to the center where they absolutely should be. Like back in the 90s when the Democrats were definitely a little bit more moderate, and along with the conservatives were definitely more moderate. People could have a conversation, and the State of the Union generally was always, everyone was clapping. There were some people, but not the entirety of one side sitting down, ignoring the president of the United States of America speaking. And then you're confused why we're in the situation that we're in. Right? We are looking at what looks to be an unfortunate downfall, guys. We need to get back to where we can speak to each other kind of large scale, because, guys, get off of the idea of virtue. I don't care about the color of your skin, bro. I care your policy. Okay? I care about your policy. And does your policy affect my household? If it does, negatively, then I'm not voting for you. And I think that's kind of where America needs to sit right now here.